This is GoldFever on the 100X podcast, the latest game to be building an Avalanche Layer 1 with that new 9000 upgrade. Really excited to get into it. Emilian, you were just telling us some crazy stuff that you guys are doing with this that evolves you beyond being just a game. I think there's something bigger here that people are going to be excited to listen to and to learn about. Why don't you introduce yourself and what you guys are building at GoldFever?
Hey guys, nice. Thanks for having me here at the 100X podcast. Um, yes, we are building with Avalanche. We are building an MMO game. We are building it for 4 years at this point, and it finally reaches a state that we are proud of. It's of course still beta, but there is long to go in terms of being finished fully. But we will probably never finish it. We will probably go like any other, there are some Star Citizen game that went on for 20 years, 10 years, and so on. So we will probably go in that state forever. But we are very happy to be here at Avalanche and to grow together with their ecosystem, our long-awaited game. So I'm Emilian. As I said, the people know me as Logarithmik. They can find me on Discord, on Twitter, and so on. And GoldFever, it's a simulation game that we built inside an MMO where people are actually reliving the thrills that gold rushes from 1850s in USA, 1900s in Papua New Guinea were living. In the sense that everything that goes into this game was at some point done in reality. That's why I call it a simulation, because from every point of view, you will be affected by survivability features, economical features, and human features. And what I'm trying to say with this is the fact that the game is extremely complex, is extremely hard, and sometimes it's quite scary. The adrenaline that comes from, and the fun actually that comes from this game doesn't come from the fact that you are meeting a dragon, you are seeing beautiful effects, you are seeing magical stuff. The adrenaline in this game comes from that moment when you finally extract, I don't know, 300, 400 NGL, our token, and you realize that something is going to happen to you. You feel it in the air.
Before we dig into everything this episode has to offer, we want to highlight the awesome partners who sponsor this podcast and make it possible for us to work full-time on 100X. They're legends, and we appreciate them for supporting us. Let me tell you about our friends at games.gg. And when I say friends, I really do mean that they are friends of 100X. Their CEO, Omar, was one of my first introductions to Web3 gaming, and we're OG holders of their Gamers Lobby collection. We love these guys. They're essentially the super app of Web3 gaming. One of the cool things they've cooked up is a gaming quest system. You complete free quests for cool games, anything from retweeting a post to beating a mission in a new game, and then you get rewards, tokens, skins, whitelist access, all kinds of things. Go explore everything awesome they've crafted just for you at games.gg right now.
And what's going to happen is the fact that tribals, which are not PvE, are PvP, are the other players, will come to get your goal. The effect it has on people, this thing, it's compared. I was comparing recently to the effect that you have when you steal successfully something from a shop, like a shoplifter. You see, when you go into a shop, you get a candy and you exit the doors uncaught, you will have a rush of adrenaline. Exactly. This is exactly the same feeling you get in here, because you are stealing the tribe's gold, and the tribes are alerted that you are going there, you are getting the gold out, you are digging it, and they let you They let you accumulate a bit. They won't just come over you and just run you off. They let you accumulate. They will let you figure it out, get ready for the battle, and then they will come and steal it back for you. Of course, it all depends on the skill. It's a skill-based game, and the basic idea of this gaming model is the fact that you put X money in it to prepare yourself, like a gold pen, like food, like a weapon, and you try with your skill, with your social abilities, with your team to extract 10x, 20x, or whatever. It's not a game that guarantees you any money. Nothing is guaranteed in here. Instead, the guarantee comes from the fact that the gold is there. It's uncontrollable by us. We don't have a button. We don't want to have a button through which we are adjusting the quantity of gold. The gold is the same as it is at 10 cents NGL, the same it will be if it will ever become $1. So the amount of gold is the constant of the game. And that's why everyone can prepare based on that. So basically, this is the part fun dedicated to gamers and so on. On the entire side of the spectrum, there are the people dedicated to the economy.
Right, the crypto side.
The crypto side, the economy. The game comes with a few innovations in this space, and in not just in the crypto space, but also in the gaming space. Because we knew from the beginning that if we're going to make a blockchain game, we have to respect a few principles that rule the blockchain world. The decentralization part is actually inside the economy of the game. What I'm going to try to explain you very quickly what does it mean. If in a game like Diablo or World of Warcraft, you go and collect some of the gold in there. Once you need an item, you go into a shop and buy that item, right?
Yep.
That shop, it's owned by Blizzard. So the sync of the token in there goes up automatically in the in Blizzard's pockets, let's say.
Yep.
We decentralize the entire economy up to a level that if nobody involves in this economy as a staker or owner of these commercial buildings that we have, the game would simply become almost impossible to play. Why? Because you would never have a pickaxe to where to buy from, a gun or a gold pen. You would have to go and craft your weapons. You would have to hunt for the animals. You would have to walk all over the entire map that we have. So we decentralize the economy up to this crazy level where the game is almost unplayable without the crypto users. And we recently made a few changes because we wanted to give more utility to the token. And that's why I think your podcast is a very, very good place to explain how these improvements to the economy will most probably affect the token utility in the future.
Yeah, awesome, man. I'm excited to get into this. I think the game itself is pretty fascinating. It's I craft, I get all my gear together, I drop into Papua New Guinea where I try to find some gold that is worth something real, something tangible. I try to extract. And the only way I get to keep it is if I'm not slaughtered by other players. That's crazy. I think there's a lot of fun to be had there. And then on the economy side, what do you mean by I would love to hear how you guys are solving this issue. I think I think we have yet to see someone perfectly solve how you integrate tokens into an in-game economy. Although that's one of the perfect use cases for blockchain in gaming. And so I'm interested to see how you guys are doing that.
Right. So so basically, when it comes to this games infrastructure, you have multiple layers of economy, right? You have, at least in our game, you have the buildings that are producing items and services that players will need. We are talking here about weapons, gold tools, nails, um, clothes, and many, many other things that in a survival game are extremely necessary. You can absolutely go and try to not spend any money as a player in this game, but it's going to force you go on the other side if you put pressure, if you put value on your time. So basically, when you're buying a gun, you're not buying a gun per se, but you're buying yourself time. Why? Because a proper gun will help you move faster inside the game, will help you survive faster inside the game. While if you use a bamboo arrow, bow and arrow, your power, your time will most certainly decrease in terms of what you can do. Why? Because you will die for sure faster than you would die if you'd be in a fight with a real gun. So these buildings are selling you the necessary items that you need uh, for a better survivability rate and for a better extraction rate. And beyond these buildings in here, you also have a secondary layer of items that are used by people in the secondary layer of the economy. And I'll just give you a few examples. Because our territory inside the game is extremely big. To give you an idea how big it will be, the entire map when it's done, with a plane, you will go from in a diagonal in in 20 to 30 minutes, which is extremely high in a game. So we made this map so huge so we can give transportation a chance to eat from people's time and money. Imagine that if you come into the game right now and you just walk from place to place, it will take you hours. You will not know if you reach that place because you have crocodiles, you will have piranhas, you have diseases, mosquitoes, and all the stuff. So all these secondary layer items that are part of the economy, the planes, the donkeys, the gold tools, and so on, will help you again to increase your chances to extract the gold, but also to, if you value your time, to win more time and to dedicate more time to extracting the value. Because we've made these items NFTs, so everything that I'm talking about, the buildings,
It's on chain.
The donkeys, the planes, and so on, we made them NFTs. In this way, we made them obtainable by absolutely anyone. And up to a few months ago, people could just buy them. They were very expensive because we made a calculation and we saw that in 2 years, if you purchase them, you could recover the money by if players would be buying them from you. But recently, we decided to allow people to stake them. In this phase of the game, we have around 400 buildings, and there is a total stake possibility there for 30 million tokens. Imagine that at this point we have around 50 million tokens in total released out there, because we are fully released at this point. So if you think about it, bringing in users, bringing in people that could understand the potential of the game, that could understand the potential of this staking program and the ecosystem by itself, automatically there is utility for the token in there. Now, in terms of the other NFTs, we call them commercial NFTs, all these ones. Okay, they are clear. The commercial NFTs are clearly the base of our decentralized economy. And we came up with another innovation in terms of how do we give value to items, to NFTs, without shoving them in their faces, in people's faces, with thousands and thousands and thousands of them. We came up with an idea that if we have 1,000 players inside the game, it means that there is a need for a very small amount of NFTs, for example, horses, before we need to mint other ones. And this means that there is always, because we minted only, for example, only 35 horses for 1,000 active users. You can imagine that at this point, the demand for the horses will come from these 1,000 people. Whenever they play, they will need it. So whoever buys a horse, he is guaranteed that there is a need for that horse inside the game. And if he doesn't use it for his own game, for his own actions, he can always put it and obtain some money from renting it as a passive investment. I like to say that you can make money when you sleep by doing this with these NFTs. So these are the two main pillars of our decentralized economy.
I want to understand a little bit more from, now we understand how the economy works and how it becomes a little bit sustainable in terms of the supply and demand that you guys go ahead and balance within the game. Like you said, if there's 1,000 players, we're not going to provide 1,000 horses. We're going to provide a limited amount so that those become valuable to the people who are actually playing. Because I do understand, like, hey, if you have 1,000 players, but somehow there's 10,000 horses, well, who's going to want a horse? Because now you can have 20 for the price that, instead of just having 35. I do want to understand a little bit more about the game loop. What is the game loop like for someone who maybe is just getting started into GoldFever? If someone who maybe I just want to try out the game for the first time, what is that experience like? What is the game loop like? What am I going to be running into? And what's going to make me sort of want to get invested into this economy? What kind of game loops and what kind of things am I going to run into that's going to make me, hey, you know what? I want a horse. Hey, you know what? I don't want a bow and arrow. I want one of those guns that people are using. What is that experience like for a new user?
For a new user, we tried as much as possible to make an onboarding tutorial that gets him through all the phases of the game and rewards them with the tokens, with the currencies of the game, so he doesn't feel pursued into buying anything. It takes around 2 days, let's say, to finish the tutorials, because they are quite big, and the game is big in the sense that you have a lot of things to do.
Right.
They are trying to introduce you to the fact that you need to sleep inside the game. Let me do a small parenthesis in here and say the fact that the characters are also NFTs. So they can permanently die because of the permanent damage that can get to them. Okay, so you have this situation where if you leave your character outside of the without putting him to sleep in your own bungalow or in a hotel. The next time when you enter the game, you will find him in hospital, and you will find him with permanent damage. All this permanent damage accumulates, and accumulating permanent damage, all your stats will diminish up to a level where you will find yourself being killed by a mosquito, or or dragging your feet around the game, and so not doing anything with it. We are this is part of this very harsh survival game is the fact that we are trying to force people into realizing it's not so easy to make money. And it requires you not just the skill of moving the mouse and shooting, but in trying to uncover the ways to optimize your character life inside the game. If if you come for the first time into the game, it will and you don't do the tutorials, you will find it overwhelming and you will have a million questions. The tutorials will help you with the majority of things, because as I told you, the first one introduces you to the hotel, because you have to sleep. You will receive some hours free to sleep in there, but later on you will have to pay, and you are not paying us, you are paying Caesar, which owns that hotel.
Right. Whoever owns that building.
Exactly. And it's very many people don't understand this part. All the jewels, the jewels, I forgot to say, the jewels is a non-crypto token, like any other currency in
In-game
other
currency.
Web2. Okay, and it was always meant to be purchasable with credit card, because we want to onboard Web2 people at some point, right? And we don't want them to be from the beginning go and buy tokens from Uniswap or something like that and bring them here. So we want to give them that feeling that they are doing something very familiar. They are buying just some tokens, right? So these jewels, when people buy these jewels, we receive the fiat. But Caesar, that owns the hotel, will not receive the fiat. Instead, we will use the fiat to buy back NGL from the marketplace and give it to Caesar. So it's an entire loop of fiat money going onto the exchange. The exchange gives out the tokens, we give them to Caesar. Caesar is spending money on the hotel because he wants the hotel to be upgraded. He wants to craft maps and stuff, whatever is happening in there. So it's an entire ecosystem that functions because everyone has to spend something. In the end, Caesar will most probably be more richer than anyone that plays the game just to extract
the
the
landlord.
I'm sorry, but this is the reality. You know how they say in a gold rush, the shovel seller
sell the shovels, man. Who cares about finding the gold? Sell the shovel.
Exactly. So you, with this game, you give people a dream. You give people a dream. You are better than a casino by giving them a dream that is achievable with their skills. But nobody will guarantee them that they can make those money, unless of course they are lucky, or they are very good, or they are among the first that are actually doing this. So we introduce the player with the tutorials. There is a condition that says that any new player, if they go past 72 hours of free playing, they should burn some NGL to buy a mask. This mask is giving them bonuses, very useful inside the game. So it's a win-win for anyone willing to play. We don't force them to buy anything before trying them, but after 72 hours, come on, do something. Don't just leech, be a leecher and try to squeeze all the money from the game. Burn some 333 NGL and do something good for all of us. Yes, because when you burn the token, I don't get anything, Caesar doesn't get anything, but overall the utility of the token will increase, and basically he will be the first one, the miner will be the first one that benefits, because he goes, you see, if let's say that 1,000 people today, not 10,000 people today, decide to play the game. Today the game is the NGL, it's 1 cent, let's say like this, right? If 10,000 people decide to play the game today and they have to burn 3 million tokens to buy the masks, you can imagine that it will be in their own benefit, because the moment they go into the mines to extract the gold, it will be valued far more than it was when they purchased and burned the NGL. So we have so many things that can affect the demand for the token, the utility of the token, that we don't even need to do any, tricks that these different projects employs in order to improve their prices. The demand is there, the game is there, the utility is there. What's lacking, and this is one of the things that I have to acknowledge in your podcast, what we are lacking is the fact that we didn't have enough built in the game to actually publicly release it and do marketing for it that could actually be useful, in the sense that people were not just coming, seeing, and then leaving. At this point, we have a decent gaming here. We need to adjust our website a bit. We need to create a few things in there so people can understand. I need to come in these places like yours, which is a great place. I really appreciate what you guys are doing here, and try to explain. In the same time, we are also entering in a new phase from a marketing point of view. We are going to work with some very, very strong, with a very, very strong team that is doing marketing for other big games out there.
Yeah.
And I think now, if we expose all this good stuff about the game, all these, you see, all these angles from which you can attach yourself to the game. You don't have just to be a tribal that kills people in there. You don't have to be just a miner, but you can also be a economic partner. Let's call them economic partners. These guys that are making the decentralized economy can be so many things in this game.
Tycoons.
And I'm sure that with your help, with the new marketing team help, with all the guild, Tempest Guild, because I'm gonna launch something, partnership with them, and all this stuff, it's going to give the token demand and utility. There is nothing else out there.
Yeah. So you've got the game dialed in now. You've got an economy, a token economy dialed in now. It's just a matter of, hey, we have to brand ourselves properly so people see what we're doing. And speaking on that branding, I would say that you are, I mentioned this before off air, that we came from DeFi. We spent years over there where every single conversation is about earning, where every single conversation is about economies and utility. And those conversations don't happen very often in the gaming space of crypto. I think people are either they don't want to have them, some of them are afraid to have them, some of them legally can't have them. It's a hodgepodge mess there where most games, I feel like, are not stoked to just lay out the facts when it comes to that. And I would say you're one of the few people we've talked to recently that is like, yeah, man, there is, I mean, you used the phrase earlier, make money while you sleep. That passive income idea is very DeFi. And so you guys are pretty open about being tapped into that. Do you think, is that on that point? Like, I was just thinking about, I would love to hear, or at least let the audience hear, why you guys approach it from that philosophy of like, gaming, our game is more than just playing a game. We're pretty open about the fact that it's a way to make money, that it's a way to earn, that it's a way to create value for yourself. What's the thesis behind that? Why did you decide to launch a game that is so heavily focused on earning?
As I was telling you, I think in privately in the beginning of this podcast, behind this game hides something else, something more than just a game. It hides a philosophy of mine that comes from the fact that we all have to leave something behind us, something useful for society. And in 2020, when I started working on this game, because I wanted to give more, I wanted to come with a project that actually was different from all the ICOs from 2017 that, came with a paper and took millions and did nothing. I wanted to do something that actually made sense. So I knew from that point that blockchain, I was a MMO player. I stopped playing at that point because I was too old. It was a bit shameful, to keep playing those. But and why it was shameful? It was shameful because you couldn't provide to your family with the game. Yeah, you couldn't provide that. What would be a wife with two kids say to you if you just play MMOs all day long and you don't get them food on the table? So I said to myself, man, the blockchain can make you money. The game can make you money. I was making money when I was young with the games that I played, by farming gold in World of Warcraft, by creating characters in Anarchy Online and stuff like that. So I said to myself, this is the best scenario for blockchain. It has to be linked somehow with the game's economy. And then in 2018, I saw this AI trend because many investments were coming into AI, a lot of investments, not blockchain AI purely. I was checking VentureBeat and I saw that they everything was about AI, and I realized that sooner or later it will start making jobs. So and then everything put together, I understood that the games that we are going to build in the future are not going to be just something where you have fun because you lose your time, like you lose it in a mobile game. Those games will be fun because it will give you a way of life, a way of living. So putting together everything, this decentralized economy, this mining experience where you can extract the gold, the passive investment, all this put together, how could I come with something that is actually functional? I realized I'm not smart enough to invent the wheel, so I took an activity that was dead. Gold mining for users, as we know it, is dead, right? You can't go with a gold pen right now and because all the gold has been extracted, and the only way you can extract gold at this point is with machineries that cost millions of dollars and is very hard. So I said to myself, come on, man, stop trying to come up with something new. Let's take the reality. And I started to read some journals, some books about how it was in San Francisco back 200 years ago. I started reading some books about Papua New Guinea when the Australians were going there and extracting the gold. And I realized it's going to be, as a model, it's going to be very simple. We don't have to be so smart to reinvent the wheel. We just need to make a game appealing enough that it can bring in people and make them spend in there for a dream that is in a way achievable, but is not guaranteed with. I would never say that you can get in this game anything guaranteed. Beside, probably at some point, if we have enough players, a guarantee for a passive investment revenue, right? We would have problems with the law and stuff like that. So we can't say anything that it's guaranteed.
I do
But
want
it's
to go ahead
essentially,
and
I mean, yeah, you've taken this idea of gold. Dude, you talk about gold mining a lot. My hometown is like one of the places that the American gold rush happened. So I'm very familiar with the idea. I mean, I love it. I think it's a great concept. And so you've said, hey, let's essentially at the very beginning, you called yourself a simulation. Let's simulate a gold rush by creating our own version of gold. It's a cool idea.
Exactly. And if you think about it, there are some dead industries. You just have to search. But there are some industries out there that are dead, and sooner you will see even more industries dead. So bringing them into games, attaching blockchain, which gives people transparency, security, and earning potential, will transform the Web3 gaming in a tool for earning. Let's leave the fact that you have to have fun in games. You have to have fun in games, and you're gonna have a lot as long as the tribal is chasing you out there. As long as the friend that you thought it's your friend will steal your money or you will kill you just to take your money. That's gonna be
Caesar's gonna be in there looking for gold, and I'm hiding with a bow in the woods.
Absolutely. That is the fun that I want to give people. I don't want to give people I want to give them thrills, adrenaline. I want them to make money. So I'm not afraid to say, yeah, man, we are fucking a play to earn game. I want you to earn in here. But it's going to be based on your skill.
But it's hard work. Yeah, it's not a given. You don't earn you're not trading your time for money. You're trading the ability to actually successfully extract for it.
Exactly, and for that you also need to think. So if you are a slow thinker,
you ain't making nothing.
I can put money
this might not be for you.
If you're slow, man, this might not be for you.
I'm sorry, and this is the reality. And I know that people are using games to escape from reality.
Yeah.
But we can have a niche in the gaming industry that gives people not just an escape from reality, but a way to use reality, use their things that they learned in reality to actually earn in these games. And one of the other benefits that this sort of games will have on people is going to be that, you see, people will learn in the hard way the habits of people. When someone will shoot you in the head to steal your money, but you thought it was your friend, you will remember that thing forever. You will remember to not just not trust everyone, but to think who you are trusting. So you are also learning from these games. You will be learning. You will be street schooling yourself.
Becoming street smart at that point.
Street smarts, yeah. Sorry, that was the
And I do like what you said about the fact that, hey, a lot of gamers do use games as a way to escape reality, but you're saying, hey, let's not just escape reality, but let's use that escape in a way that we can now enhance our normal reality. Because if you're earning from a game, if you're making something from what you're using as an escape to enhance what you're already like your day-to-day life, well, now you bring in a benefit back to the real world that is something tangible. When it comes to that idea of like using that escape to reality to enhance your regular reality, how do you balance that idea? And you probably have more experience in this than most games because you've been around for 4 years. What has that experience been like in terms of ensuring that gamers have enough fun, but also see enough value of playing GoldFever and being in that world where they feel like they extract enough where it brings that balance? And what things have you noticed that like, hey, maybe these things we can improve a little bit to ensure that that sort of connection and that dream that you're looking for actually becomes a reality, that people can have fun in the game, but also extract enough and have like enough tangible reward for their skill and their time invested. So finding that balance where it's like not everyone comes in here and extracts something because that's not sustainable.
Well, I observed that there are two major type of players in general. There are those that involve in the economy and they stake tokens, they buy buildings, they buy planes, they also go mine, they fight and so on. So there are these sort of investors, let's say in the decentralized economy, that are very, very loyal, they give you feedback, they tell you how to improve, they also help other users. And on the second type of players, there are those who will try to extract, and they will be focused on farming the game. There is not absolutely nothing wrong with the fact that they want to farm the game. I'm not gonna say to you the fact that no man, I want just invest. No, we want farmers. We built the game for farmers, and we know that the token will make this farming more or less valuable. And many of these players have different options, at least let's say in Web3 gaming. They can go to Shrapnel during some event and they can farm there because I think they are making some money or stuff like that. They can go in off the grid and make those money in there by shooting and do all the stuff. I think they have some daily rewards or they had something like that. But basically, the token price for these farmers, the token price is the most important condition to have them loyal, to have them spending inside the game.
Right, I'm not going to farm and I'm not going to spend if I see the token going down all the time.
They are not going to farm if they see that the principle that I was telling you about, put $10 and try to extract 220x, so 200, it's not possible. So if they see they put $10 and they can extract $20 in 5 hours, they will say, fuck off, I can use my time in a better way. And I fully agree with them. Part of the idea to change to this major staking program was that we want more token off the market and in the staking the buildings and in the blueprints that people can use in the game and in the masks and all these things that use the token. So we realized this from the early beginning, but the game was not ready. But now when the game's core loop it's fully working and people can come in here, put $10, do all the preparations, go in there, and if they are good, if their skill is good and they kill the tribes that come, and they actually extract the gold and get to the bank with it, if the parity is very low, so they had to work exactly as I said before, 5 hours for $10 profit, they will go away.
Right. But if they could trade $10 and a couple of hours in this game for $200, that's a worthwhile trade. I mean, you've essentially created a new way to make wagers in video games, and you're betting on yourself instead of someone else.
Wow, that's very fucking smart, man. Nice. But put a trademark on it. Exactly. You are betting on yourself on this kind of thing. Exactly. Wow, that's very interesting idea. And people would happily leave. Come and play again if they knew that the risk it's worth it. So I'm going to tell you something. Even if I ban the tribes right now from going and killing them, they wouldn't go if the token is very low, because extracting $300 $30, while they have to put $10, is not going to make it. And even if I have the owners of the buildings, because you see, the part of this decentralization is the fact that I have to beg the owners of these buildings to put things cheaper. Come on, man. People won't play if you put the hammer, or if you put the gold pen, you'll put it $5. Put it a few cents right now, because it doesn't make sense for them. So you also have this layer of issues when you don't control how the pricing is formed. But this is part of the beauty, and it's part of the fact that I have to be an ambassador between players and
well, then look,
owners.
someone else will come buy a store and they'll sell it cheaper. If your game becomes successful and the guy who's selling the gold pans is selling them for $5, someone else is going to come in and buy a store and sell it for $1. That's the way that successful economies work.
Exactly. It will regulate itself like in any healthy economy where the competition is functioning.
I really like that, and I do love the fact that, hey, you own the fact that you're Web3, you own the fact that you have NFTs, you own the fact that you're trying to be play to earn, and in the purest way possible. Like Matthew said, you believe in yourself and you believe in your own skill, that you could have an edge over your competition, and that edge is what actually rewards you inside the game. So I think in that sense, a lot of people are going to be very excited about that, because more and more we see a lot of people shy away from the fact that, hey, we have some play to earn mechanics, or we have some NFTs or some tokens inside the game. You're saying, nah, that's exactly why we're in Web3. That's exactly why we're in crypto, because we can do those things, because we can go ahead and make those things happen. For anyone listening to this conversation who wants to learn a little bit more, who wants to try the game out, who wants to go see if they can survive against the tribes, where should they get started? What's the first thing that they should do after listening to this episode and say, hey, go try GoldFever, start here?
What they should do is to go on Twitter, on X, get on the link tree in there that has links to all the things out there, to the website. But just go to the website, download the game, get inside. You don't need anything. You just need an account on the website, and then come to Discord if you have issues. We constantly have issues, but we constantly patch the game. We in the last month, for example, we patched with minimum 50 bugs, and we added new features. We are constantly adding. The team is working even in this period of holidays. It's pushing things. So go download the game, get inside the game. Don't lose yourself on the website too much, because it needs a redesign. It needs a few things in order to make the information more accessible. Use the wiki, which you can find it in About Us menu. If you have the patience. If you don't have the patience, just come on Discord and ask the community. It's not a big community. Many people left because the game had many issues in the past, and it's normal. But you are in the right time if you watch 100x. You are in the right time to come and join us. Things will be much better in 2025. I don't know exactly how the market is going to be, but like an old friend that came into the project in the beginning, he said, "Hey man, if this game works out, this is going to be the best hedge against the bear market." You see, if the game has players, if the economy is working, you don't need anything else. You don't need Bitcoin, you don't need Ethereum, you just have a working economy. And this is how things work in projects with utility, right?
Beautiful. Well said. Hey, we will drop those links right here wherever you're listening. You can go and find them. And I should say right now, I just decided a second ago in this conversation in my own mind that I'm going to go buy some of the NGL tokens. So I will say that I now have financial incentive for you to listen to this episode. So if I'm biased, take that as you will. Don't take any of my words or excitement as investment advice. Use this episode and anything else paired with it as your own financial research wherever you're at. Have some fun playing the game. Meet me out there. Don't shoot me with a bow and arrow if I'm in the field with you, because I'll take you down. Thank you so much, Emilian, for joining us. This has been a blast. I'm excited to see where you guys take your game in 2025.
Thank you very much for having me, and I hope we will continue this, because I'm sure we can entertain your viewers with more info, more new things that are coming, and why not? Let's make this let's make your podcast the place where the alpha goes out.
Love to hear it, man. Love it. Sweet. We'll see you next time on 100X.